All right, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that is pretty much at the core of human ambition. We're talking about the universal desire for wealth and happiness. I mean, we all want it, right? But how many of us actually have a concrete, actionable plan to get there? A lot of people just, cross their fingers and hope for the best. Well, today we're going to break down a structured masterclass on how to actually achieve that dream, using some truly timeless personal development insights. So get ready because we're about to blueprint your success. Let's just jump right in. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Now, that is a massive paradigm shift, isn't it? You see, the reality is that your income rarely exceeds your personal development. Sure, sometimes you get lucky, but the source material warns that if someone just hands you $1,000,000, you had better become a millionaire really quickly so you actually get to keep the money. Otherwise, unless you grow into the kind of person who can sustain that wealth, it's just going to shrink right back down to where you currently are. Let that sink in for a second. Success isn't this thing you frantically chase after. It's something you attract by becoming a better, more developed version of yourself.
So, to get us there, I've organized this explainer into a straightforward, step-by-step masterclass. Here's our roadmap. 1. The personal development secret. 2. Step 1. Gather ideas. 3. Step 2. Take action. 4. Step 3. Do it right. And finally, 5. Your life-changing choice.
Starting with Section 1, the personal development secret. We're getting right down to the root of success here. The real problem you're facing probably isn't a lack of money. Actually, it's a lack of ideas. There's this brilliant story in the source material about a young guy telling his wealthy mentor that he just didn't have any money, assuming, that was his ultimate roadblock. But the mentor immediately stopped him and said, No, that's not the problem. The problem is you lack an idea on how to create wealth. If you can just get your hands on the right ideas, you can change absolutely anything in your life. Remember, true happiness isn't about what you get, it's about what you become.
So, how do we actually kick off this monumental life change? The source outlines this beautifully simple, foundational 3-step rule that's basically going to act as the backbone for our whole explainer today. Step 1, find out how things work. Step 2, go to work. And step 3, don't beat the system. It's a really elegant rhythm, but actually doing it, that takes some intense dedication. Moving on to Section 2. Step 1. Gather ideas. Listen, you absolutely cannot leave your economic, social, or personal growth to chance. It has to become a deliberate study. And there are 3 very specific ways to figure out how to change anything. Read, listen, and observe. This is your essential triad for gathering ideas. If you want to be successful, you have to actively study success. If you want happiness, you study happiness. Oh, and here's a massive pro tip from the text. When you find something that actually works, write it down in a journal. Seriously, don't just use your brain as a filing cabinet. Getting it on paper allows for repetition. You can review it over and over until one day that idea finally clicks, takes root, and actually starts showing up in your bank account and your lifestyle. Let's zero in on that first method, reading. Look, standard education is gonna get you standard results. Just take a look around at the numbers in society and ask yourself, is standard really what you want? Probably not. If you want to go beyond that, you have to become self-educated. Your curiosity should absolutely drive you to learn from people who've already been there and done that. Think about it. Hundreds of incredibly successful people have essentially written down their exact cheat codes for achieving their goals in books. Why on earth wouldn't you read them? One single book could literally save you 5 years of painful trial and error. And here is a direct challenge straight from the source material, 30. Dedicate just 30 minutes a day to reading something positive, challenging, or instructional. You don't need to stay up until 2 a.m. reading, but you've got to carve out that daily half hour. Become a consistent student of life. Make up your own mind. Don't just be a follower, be a student. Okay, moving to the second way to gather ideas, listening. The source shares this genius, highly actionable piece of advice. Find a successful person and offer to buy them an expensive dinner, just to listen to them talk. Spend the $50, the $80, or even the $800. Buy them the full 9-course meal if you have to. Because even if it momentarily stings your wallet, if you can get a truly successful person to eat and talk for 2 solid hours, they are incredibly likely to drop an idea right into your lap that could multiply your income 2, 3, or even 5 times over. But as the speaker notes with this absolutely biting punchline, but you're right. Poor people don't usually take rich people out to dinner. I mean, wow. Think about that for a second.
Our limiting beliefs just jump right in, don't they? People immediately think, well, he's rich, let him buy his own steak. I'm the one who needs the money. But that exact mindset is what prevents growth. You're investing in ideas, not just buying someone a meal. Overcoming that mental block is exactly what separates the wealthy from everyone else.
And the third way to gather ideas is observation. Because as the source insists, success leaves clues. You have to actively watch how successful people operate. How do they shake hands? How do they handle pressure? If someone's making 10 grand a month, watch how they walk. Heck, maybe you should try copying their walk. But there's a really vital distinction we have to make here. The difference between sight and insight. Sight is just seeing things with your eyes. But insight, that is seeing with your mind. It's seeing the answers hidden within those actions. You have to pay attention so closely that you don't miss a single clue. Wherever you are, make sure you are completely there.
Now for Section 3. Step 2. Take action. So knowing how things work is only half the battle. If you let your learning lead merely to knowledge, well, you just become an educated fool. But if you let your learning lead to action, that's when you become wealthy. And I don't just mean money. I'm talking wealth in your relationships, your health, your whole spirit. Without action, all those amazing ideas you just gathered by reading, listening, and observing, they're essentially useless. You have to develop the fierce discipline to actually execute on what you've learned.
And what is the secret to actually executing? Start with the little disciplines. Get excited about your ability to make yourself do the small necessary things. You can't possibly handle the massive challenges in life if you don't practice on the small ones first. Make a list of tiny things you can tackle tomorrow and just get right on them. You're building that discipline muscle so when a huge life challenge inevitably hits, you're ready for it. And the source makes this super clear. Self-motivation is absolutely non-negotiable. Don't sit around waiting for someone else to come pump you up. I mean, what if they never show up? You've got to have a much better plan for your own life than that.
All right, Section 4. Step 3. Do it right. This step acts as a massive caution sign for the ambitious learner who wants overnight success. The rule is incredibly strict. Find out how it works, work it, but do not try to beat the system. The source explicitly warns against learning just enough to start cutting corners or looking for cheap answers to speed things up. Because if you fall into that trap, if you compromise on doing the actual work, you're just going to wind up with a cheap life. Even if doing it the right way takes a little bit longer, just do it right. Never compromise what is right just to save a little time. And finally, Section 5. Your life-changing choice. We've reached the real climax of this blueprint. You have these remarkable, completely unutilized gifts deep inside of you, just waiting to be deployed. You literally never have to be the same again after today. It's entirely your choice. So I have to ask you directly, what are you going to do, starting tomorrow, that will change the direction of your life? It's a heavy question, because if you don't do something starting tomorrow that will make a difference, guess what? Everything is going to stay exactly the same. The accountability is sitting squarely on your shoulders right now. You have the ideas and you know the steps.
I want to wrap up this explainer by leaving you with this phenomenal, provocative thought straight from the text. The next 5 are going to be like the last 5 unless you change it all. Take a really hard look at the last 5 years of your life. Are you truly happy with them? Because the next 5 are on that exact same trajectory unless you decide, starting tomorrow, to change it all, or change a little, or just change something. It is choice time. You can do whatever you want, but it's pretty amazing to know that any day you wish, you can completely change your entire life. Thanks so much for joining me, and I challenge you to start that change tomorrow.